Today we have a very interesting case. This is a case of dog-to-dog aggression with a multiple dog-to-dog bite history. These are no jokes when it comes to these cases, because these are absolutely the situations and scenarios that results in dogs going to shelters or being put down, and we want to make sure that we avoid that, and that's exactly what we're going to achieve with this dog in this intensive day. Now, I always have to observe the behaviour before we start working on behaviour modification schedules. Now, most of the times, dogs like this kind of behaviour stems more from fear and anxiety than genuine, real nasty aggression or dominance. And oftentimes, when you remove the owner from the equation, the aggression, the violence goes with the owner, because that was pouring petrol on the fire of this anxiety and fear behind the dog, which then creates these massive explosions. Now, luckily, we have some incredibly highly trained role model dogs at my facility that allow us to test these things in very controlled, safe environments. And that's exactly what we did at the start of the day. We used our two role model dogs, one being Cousin Cole and Uncle Sully, in different scenarios, in different environments, to be able to find out exactly where these problem behaviors are coming from that allows me to formulate my plan to get on top of these behaviors as quickly as possible. So what I'm 100% seeing here is that we have a fearful, anxious dog in this situation that has no leadership from its owners, which is creating that fear and anxiety because it doesn't know what to do, and then it sees another dog and it explodes. So the reason we're not seeing that here is because we don't have that piece of the formula in this scenario. The owners aren't here. What we have is a dog with no engagement, most likely a huge lack of leadership skills. So we're going to spend the day inserting those leadership skills. This dog hasn't looked up at Nana not once in this entire time. It does not care whatever this thing is that's hanging on to the back of its lead. We need to flip that script to make it the only thing that this dog cares about, because if we can have that dog look up to us for guidance and direction, then what will happen is when it's in that situation where it is fearful and it is anxious, rather than it going, I need to flight or I need to fight, we need to unpick that and have the dog go, what shall I do? Now, after doing multiple different observations at the start of the day, we managed to see this behaviour. And again, I really need to see the behaviour before I can really make sure that I'm doing the proper behaviour modification schedule that's going to be needed for a dog like this. Now, this, in my opinion, my diagnosis was that this is an incredibly anxious and fearful dog that has a massive lack of guidance and direction from a loving leader in its life. And it's forcing itself into a fight or flight response. Where possible, it wants to flight and get out of a situation. When it doesn't feel it can do that, it's like a dog backed into a corner and wants to fight the other dog. And that's where we're seeing these issues. Both of those issues aren't great, and we want to flip that script and turn a dog that goes from fight or flight into a dog that sees something that makes it a bit unsure, maybe another dog, but instead of fight or flight, it goes, what shall we do? And we're missing that beautiful piece of the puzzle of looking up to a handler for guidance and direction, and understanding that it doesn't matter what's going on around them, it doesn't matter the level of kind of nervousness they feel, that everything is going to be okay, because as your leader, we love you and we're going to take care of you. To me, that was a 3-stage process that I needed to take with this dog to be able to achieve the success that this dog needs to be able to live a safe, happy and content life. The first step is that this dog must start to see humans as loving leaders, whom their guidance and direction they can feel okay following. They can trust in them and they can give over control to them. That'll be a huge piece of the puzzle. The second step I needed to focus on was leash communication. We needed a way to communicate to this dog in a language that it understands, what it is that we do want from them, what it is that we don't want from them, and to be able to steer and navigate them through difficult situations that they find themselves in. And I'm just going to start with what I call a basic lead handling tune-up. I'm just going to communicate to him with this tool that he needs to focus on me. Classic Labrador. Again, it's nice to see that good old-fashioned scratch behind the ear created that nice little tail wag. So I'm going to be using that again as another kind of positive reinforcement piece of the equation. Don't need to be administering food over and over and over again. I want it to be more engagement, time and a place for food. But for right now, we're going to be much more natural. So again, this is probably, as you can see, first time he's probably felt this. And again, the pressure goes on. He needs to start to understand, we call it yielding to lead pressure, that in that situation where he was making decisions for himself and he digs his heels in, that isn't going to get you what you want. That leash pressure isn't going to turn off. But when you yield to it, it turns off and everything good happens. So again, we're going to see another example here, and boom, turns off. Good boy. Go. Yeah, digging his heel. There we go. Good. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, good boy. Let's go. If you engage with me, you're going to get the reward. If you ignore me, if you're not paying attention to me, let's go. Yeah, good boy. Again, not focusing. I'm going to turn in. Second time, much better. That means he's focusing on me. I then wanted to stack up a huge amount of positive interactions with other dogs and flip this script in both the dog's mind and the owner's mind, that violence doesn't need to be the first port of call, that actually other dogs can be good interactions. It can be a positive experience. And that's where the hero of the story, Uncle Sully, comes in and allows us to teach this dog that. We start to let this dog give over to the fact that other dogs can be fun, other dogs can be positive, and build up a nice bank of successful, positive interactions and socialization settings with another dog. And playful Labrador. Aggressive dog whose owners needed somebody to fix this problem. Again, Uncle Sully challenging the behaviour. I don't know if he's picking up on the microphone. There. Perfect. Again, loving leadership. That again, Uncle Sully's going to challenge this nicely. That's too much. Calm down. Is now able to interact. Again, Uncle Sully providing the challenge when the challenge needed to be provided. Hasn't hurt his feelings. Has taught him better manners. He now understands, okay, there's a balance here, and all I'm trying to do is be as a good dog trainer as Uncle Sully is. And in that interaction, in that 5 minutes, he's done more work than I'll be able to do in 5 days. Isn't that right, big boy? You're the best dog trainer in the world. Good boy. We teach it the leash handling skills so that we can communicate to the dog effectively and keep it under control. And we help the dog see humans in its life as their loving leaders who it can trust and who it can look up to for guidance and direction, because as always, leadership is love.